Okay, so I'm now going to try and go through session 3, hopefully a bit less bumpy than on Wednesday. So we start off with explaining what the library is, and there's a section in the manual there about that. So two things to say really. Everything that they create should be saved in the library to make it easier for everyone to access. When they save stuff into the library, they will need to give it an appropriate category, and they should know what those categories are. If they need a category that's not there, they can speak to their hub champion about that. And if you remember, the hub champion is in each department. There's going to be a person who sort of collects information or requests for changes to the system, and 4 times a year there's going to be this meeting where the hub champions will come together and talk to the technical team, the developers, about what they think should be changed. Okay, the EDMS should also have version control, so whenever it'll keep track of any changes that have been made to these documents, and it should be possible to roll back to previous versions if necessary. So you start off with searching the library. Now for this, it's going to be the Peel House codes again. Bear with me a sec. Okay, so you'll be in the hub. I'll just resize this so I can see the manual. Oops. So as before, you just click into the search box. I'm going to search for Newman. You're going to be searching for Peel House codes. Make sure library's ticked and then click go. And then twiddle your thumbs for some time. Okay, and here's the documents related to Mr. Newman. Okay, so you can tell them that they can double click to open one of these documents. So I could do that now. And sometimes it comes up with a box asking you which program you want to open it with. So I'll just wait for it to... Here you go. Doesn't look like it's going to do it for me, but sometimes initially it comes up with a box and you have to associate it with Word, whatever it is. But we'll click open here, and it will open the document in Word. No, it's going to go through setup. I'll pause it while it... Okay, so that's opened in Word. When they do it that way, they're not actually editing it in the library. They're just viewing it, and if they did make any changes, they'd have to save it, and I think it would get saved as a brand new document in the library. Okay, so we close that. Oh, don't know what's going on there. Just going to ignore it. Cancel. Okay, so that's how you do a quick search for a document. The next thing is this advanced search of a library. Now it's an advanced search because you get more options, i.e. you can search through categories and you can search through content. As we said on Wednesday, it's not this advanced link. That's not where the advanced search is. The advanced link actually takes you directly to the EDMS, so don't be tempted to click on the advanced link. Instead you click on library, and that will take you to the advanced search options. So here you get to put the file name in, you get to say you want to search file name and category. You also get to search through the content, and here you get to choose which category you want to search through. So one that definitely works is pets in the file name. Keep file name and category, go to customers, go to residents. Is it residents? No. Residents, tenancy changes, and permissions. If they know stuff, it's like any search like this, the more information they've got, the better. So if they know things like the tenancy number, etc., they can put those in, but they don't have to. At the moment we're just searching for pets in the file name, and it's in the permissions category. So we could click search, and there it finds all of the documents that meet those criteria. Okay, so you can go back to advanced search, choose content, and we could search for Newman in content, and that's looking through the actual content of the documents rather than just the file name or the category. I'll just pause it. Okay, so it's found results now, and this is all the stuff that's got Newman in the content, obviously. Okay, so back to the manual. So you've done those two sections then, the advanced search of a library. You then move on to how to add documents to the library. So this is where you need to go into Word. So I just minimise that. Just thinking, I've got the manual open here. So, alright, I'll just start a new document in Word. Okay, and on Wednesday we talked about doing a sample letter to thank somebody for attending a workshop. So I don't think they need to spend ages putting the text in, and they're going to categorise that in the residence category. So we do that with the add-ins tab, save to Serengeti, now I think this save to Serengeti actually, it conflicts a bit with my the software that I'm using to take this video, so I might have to jump around a bit here and miss bits out, but I'll just sort of say what it's meant to do. But as I remember, when I did this before, I've had to make videos for Octavia as well, and there was some sort of conflict with it, so let's just see how we get on. This sort of letter, apparently they will understand it being categorised in customers, residents, sorry, my mistake, is this working now? No, my mistake. So I'm going to go back to save to Serengeti. It's customers, resident involvement, feedback, and then you can put anything in the field. So we'll just say workshop feedback here, feedback, let's just say okay, and then we upload that, and I have a feeling this might conflict. Let's see what it does. Oh no, it looks okay. Okay, I'm just going to pause it while it does this. Okay, so I'm getting those boxes again. So don't worry if you see these boxes, that's what's meant to happen. And this one as well comes up, and then once that one's gone, you should get the document come up with the title up at the top. So it will use the title that you put in. So that's how you know that it's got into the library. So that's the Save to Serengeti. That can be used for any Microsoft Office document. So all of their Office programs should have that add-ins tab and have the Save to Serengeti button. If you're trying to add a file that isn't Office, for example a PDF or a TIFF or a GIF file or anything like that, then you have to do it using the Dropbox. So, whoops, I'm going to close this document down. Oh, I forgot to say, when you're doing that categorisation, you do need to explain the 4 top levels. So the company is anything corporate, personal finances, that sort of thing. Customers is about the tenants. Foundation is their charitable arm. So any staff who work for the foundation will put their documents in there, and property information is anything to do with properties. So at the point where you start to categorise, you need to explain those 4 top levels. Otherwise, you don't need to explain. Okay? Okay, there's about 3 bells and whistles to do with that categorisation and Save to Serengeti that you also need to cover. So I think on Wednesday we decided we were going to just do a new document and just put some dummy text in. Go to add-ins, go to Save to Serengeti. Okay, and go to customers, residents, tenancy changes, permissions, and here you've got pets. So the first thing that you can do is query any of those fields. So for example, let's say you know that the tenant you're dealing with lives somewhere with Johnson in the address, but you can't remember the exact address. So you click into the address field and type Johnson, and then press enter on the keyboard. It looks like nothing's happening. You wait a little while, you'll get a query results box come up, and you might need to scroll to the right to see the address, but it's basically found all the tenants who've got Johnson in the address field. And the reason it's looked an address is because that's where we type the word Johnson. So you find the tenant you're after. Let's say we want Miss G Hartley. Double click and it'll populate with all her details. Okay, so that's the first bells and whistles to show is the querying, and that is in the manual in this tick box here. Okay. The next bells and whistles is the breadcrumbs. Now, if you remember, this wasn't working, so we might just have to say that this will be working in the future, but it is this breadcrumbs that shows you the path that you've taken down through the categories. What's supposed to happen is if you click, oh, it did work. It should take you back up through the list, but obviously it's not doing it now, and it wasn't doing it before. I think that's probably going to be broken, so it's just to point out to them that that's there and that it will work in the future. So let me close that down again. Alright, let me go back to our dummy document. The last bells and whistles to show is this pre-populating thing. So again, I'm going to go to customers, residents, tenancy changes, permissions, and let's say that I don't want to query, I know that the tenancy number is 22025. So if I put that in, I don't press enter, I just click into a different field, it should pre-populate everything else with those details. Okay, now you can upload this if you want. You'll need to put in a document title, I think, if you do want to upload it, and you might need to put in a case reference, or you can just leave it as that and not worry about uploading it. It's up to you. So we'll close that down. Okay, so let's return now to this Dropbox thing. So I'm going to close this document in Word, just get the manual out of the way as well. Let's go back to the hub. Okay, just wondering where I've got a PDF. Okay, so I'm back at the hub. I'm now going to try and add an image to the library, which I can't do using the Save to Serengeti button, because that's a Microsoft Office add-ins, because this is a picture, it's not Microsoft Office file, so I need to use Dropbox. So we come over to Dropbox on the left. Okay, they need to be using IE to do it this way. I think if they're using Chrome or another browser, they can drag it in. That method is in the manual as well, but I believe they're going to be using IE. So we click Add Files. Okay, and it's gone to an images folder. They might have to browse through the folders to find the folder that they want. In fact, Adrian has set up a demos folder for us, which is the S drive, Adrian Development, SWP Training. So that's where you're going to take them. S drive, Adrian Development, SWP Training. I don't have access to that here, obviously. So I'm just going to choose this image. I'm going to click Open. And it's there. It won't start uploading until you choose a category for it. So it doesn't really matter what category you choose here. I'm going to go for customers, complaints, expression of dissatisfaction. I'm going to just put in any old rubbish here. Johnson Road. Okay, and once they're all filled in, you can upload the document and you'll get this progress bar, and when it's done it will show you this link here. Okay, so that's adding stuff using the Dropbox. Okay, so coming back to the manual just to show you where the Dropbox stuff is. So you've got the section adding documents using Dropbox. Okay, then we come to editing a document. Now you have to do this with the advanced search of the library. So remember, that's not the advanced link because that takes you directly to the EDMS. It's just clicking library on the left. I'll just resize the hub here. If I can. No, not you. Okay. Okay, so we search for the document. I'm just going to look for Newman again. In customers, residents, tenancy changes, commissions. Okay, I'm just going to look there. Search. Okay, so I found the let's say this is the document that I want, this one. You can point out here as well that you won't be able to edit everything. There will be some that are locked down to them, so I'm not quite sure what the rules are around that, but they shouldn't be surprised if there's some documents that they can't edit. Okay, so they open this one, it's saying, oops, so daisy. They click the edit button. Okay, they will have to say that they want to run this app, and it should open Word. Okay, so they make some changes, and then they just go through the process of saving to Serengeti again. Okay, and there it is, and it's been saved into the library again. Okay, I'm going to close that document down. Alright. The next bit is just a talking bit, and it's explaining the new electronic post system. So the post room is now going to scan letters and enclosures, and that will be emailed to a nominated person in each department who will then distribute it out to staff. There are some exceptions, so magazines and journals won't be scanned, and there's a list of them here that you can go through with them. I think that's pretty much it, so it's just a case of getting them to read that and understand how the new system will work. Okay, we then come on to using the advanced library, which was the bit that was bumpy yesterday. So they've no reason to use the advanced library unless they want to rename a document or change its category, which is they're calling refiling, or delete it. So there's those three reasons. There are two ways of getting into the EDMS to do those jobs, because you have to use the EDMS to do those jobs. So there's two ways of getting in. You can either click advanced here in the hub, and then you need to log in to the EDMS with your login. Okay, and as we discovered yesterday, this is all a bit bumpy and we're not sure it's working, but they can search for the document in here. So I would advise that they don't, and you just point out that, you know, they're generally not going to go directly into the EDMS anyway, so, you know, they don't need to worry too much about this. But that's how they get into the EDMS directly. It's opened a new tab in the same way as before. We'll close that tab down. Instead of doing it that way, we're going to go back to dashboard and do a search for the document. So we'll search for Newman. You would search for your Peel House codes. Make sure library's ticked. Click go. And then once you've found the document, you can view it in the EDMS. So we click View in EDMS. You can cancel this box because at the moment we're not opening it or saving it, we're just renaming, refiling, deleting. So we cancel that. For both renaming and refiling, you want this apply indexation icon. So we click that. And then you can choose what category you want to put it in. So let's say we want customers and care support. There you can put the tenant's number in again and it will automatically populate. We'll call it just testing. So you've renamed it there in the document title. So you're both moving it, changing its category, and you're also renaming it. Okay, and then you submit. And it will say that it's changed the category and that the changes have been applied, basically. You can go back with this button. Okay. And with deleting, I haven't been able to get the delete icon, which is here, to be available. It's always greyed out. Adrian said that they won't be able to delete documents. It depends on what rights they've got. Only certain people can do the deletions. So, and he said that, you know, obviously I don't have the right to delete these documents, even though I created them myself. So I guess that's all you can say to the delegates, really. If it's greyed out, you just say, well, that's because you don't have the right to delete. If you did have the right to delete, that icon would be available to you. Okay, those three things, renaming, refiling and deleting documents, they are part of the handout that you're going to get. So this, the stuff that we used on Wednesday was obviously incorrect, so I produced a handout and those three sections are on the handout. This manual that I've got here has been updated. So you've got refiling a misfiled document, renaming a document and deleting a document. Okay, next bit is how you go about emailing a document. There are three ways. You can either do it from within the EDMS, you can do it from within Microsoft Office, or you can email a link from the hub. So to do it, you're in the EDMS already with them, so you can say, okay, let's say we want to email this document to somebody. To do that, we need to click the send documents icon. They can choose whether to send as a link or as an attachment. It depends on whether they're sending it internally or externally. Obviously if it's external, it needs to be an attachment. They can choose users here. You get them to search for somebody, maybe search for Adrian. Okay, there's Adrian, so you click him and it will tell you the users added on this yellow bar. You can close that down and you can see Adrian is in there. You can also choose to email to a group. Now these look like departments, but I guess they've just been set up by Octavia. And we'll have people set up. The delegates may or may not recognise these, I don't know, but they've obviously been set up by Octavia as internal groups. Okay, and then you can put the message in. Oh, also obviously you can remove the person you've added with this, so I'll try that now. Let's say I want to remove Adrian and instead I want to put in Rachel. So let me do a search for Rachel. Okay, she's been added, close that down, she's there. Okay, and then you just click send. Okay, you can now come out of the EDMS. So we're closing that tab at the top. I guess you could get them to search again if you really want to for a document. They don't have to, they could just carry on using this. Let's go through the send to feature in Office. So they will open this up. As far as I know, they're using 2007, so I bet you any money this is going to open up in 2010. Let's just see. Okay, so if I click open, yeah, here we go. So they're not using 2010, I don't think. The IT department are, but most of the delegates will be using 2007. So I'm just going to cheat. I'm going to close 2010 down. Oh, shush. And then close that down. go away, go away. And then I'm going to open 2007. I'm going to do a new document. Right, just pretend I've opened this from the library. To send it in Word, they will go to the Office button, they'll click Send, they'll click Email. And it should open an email. There it is. Okay, so they could just put in the 2 as normal. And there is the document as an attachment. And then they would click Send to send it. I'm not going to do that, but okay, that's how you do it. Okay, I'm not going to save that. Alright, and the last way, is to copy the link from the hub. So I guess what they would do is copy that link. So select it, press Ctrl and C. Bear with me a second and I'll get it. Then they will have to open up whatever email package they're using. So I'll try and do that now. Give me a second. So I'm guessing that they use Outlook. I'm using a version of Outlook that's web-based. They might have the real proper installation of Outlook on their training machines. So they would open up an email as normal, say who it's to, and then they just paste the link in that they've copied from the hub. Okay, so that's that.